Joining us to take a look at this latest development is Professor Kamal Ben Younes, journalist and expert in international relations. Thank you very much for joining us on the news. President Saïed earlier today issued a decree that replaced members of the Independent Electoral Commission with his own appointees. What do you make of this latest decision?
I think that we arrive in the end, maybe, after the dissolving parliament, elected parliament, the third elected parliament since the Tunisian revolution for January 2011, taking control of the judiciary, executive, and all powers, including some decision were criticized by the opposition leaders, all the opposition leaders. And now we have a new decision who will have immediate impact about the credibility of next elections, of political process, of democratization process. We still have freedom of expression in radio, newspapers, but maybe the next decision will have impact on high independent commission on media. And it was surprised today because a few weeks ago we had Deputy Secretary of State of US and parliamentary delegation of EU, a lot of European delegations here, and we had confirmation at high level of the cabinet of Kaïs and the Tunisian Minister of Foreign Affairs that this high commission of elections will be respected. But few days ago, the president of this commission, Nabil Bafoun, said that the Tunisian president has no right to remove the current team of this commission. But today we have a new presidential election. But the problem in Tunisia that we have elected the president. He was elected by more than 70% of the population, and he was so popular. But we have in the same time a parliament who was elected in free elections. And now all the political process is in crisis, and FMI, International Bank, World Bank, European banks, Islamic and Arab banks said that they can't give money to Tunisia now for Tunisian budget, and we have big economic crisis, big financial crisis. If there is no immediate return to the democratic process and to parliamentary process, at least to organize new parliamentary election. But we think that it's a big collapse now of this process, what we called during 10 years, the Tunisian exception, the Tunisian democratic exception after the failure of Arab revolutions in Egypt, Libya, Syria, Yemen, and other countries.
Of opposition groups and civil society.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Prof, I'm trying to find out the reaction of opposition groups and civil society to this latest decision.
Yeah, the civil society groups, the majority of opposition leaders, Human Rights Watch, independent NGOs criticized this decree and asked the president to open national dialogue with the labor union, with the businessman union, with the human rights activists, with opposition leaders about a new roadmap, political roadmap, and to have national reform to go together, to try together to fight the deep causes of the revolution of 2011 and the deep causes of the current crisis, that means the economic and the social one.
Saied of man rule and unilaterally remake the political system. Following this decree announcement, has that truly become the case following today's announcement?
Unfortunately, the policymakers are divided there is some elite, some policymakers, some activists, some maybe regional leaders, regional dictator leaders who are supporting this process, the coup who happened in July 5th. But we have impression that Tunisia moved from democratic state, democratic civil society, democratic media to instability, to insecurity, and in the same time we have on the street labor union protests, strikes everywhere, and there is confusion and there is no vision, no strategy for how to leave this crisis without national dialogue. That explains why the main leaders, the main opposition leaders, the main policymakers, the main NGOs, activists, and independent media are asking President Saïed to go back to national reconciliation, national dialogue, and to reopen political dialogue with all policymakers, and to head the government and other actors to convince World Bank leaders, FMI, European leaders to give money to Tunisian government, because in the current situation we have a big problem for the budget of 2021, and for the first time the government have a big problem for the budget for 2022, and there is a risk for explosion, and there is a risk to have the financial situation moving to a Lebanese scenario or to other failed state scenario, or Tunisia used to be leader in North Africa and
all right, Prof,
in general.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's the much time will permit us on the news. Thank you very much for speaking to us on the situation there.